So today we have Jesse. He's the owner, CEO of NPTA and FITIN Wellness, the gym here in Vancouver. And we have Julian. He's the manager at FITIN. And thanks for coming today. I really appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about your story. Like, you went the academic route, right? So start there and just tell us what's going on, how you got here.
Yeah, it started 2008. I decided, it was that crucial decision of what I should take at university. But up until that point, I was involved in so many sports. My brother, actually, he played a huge influence on that whole route of wanting to do something related to sports and staying active. And then, of course, in high school, we're all looking at our high school teachers, especially those who are teaching phys ed and gym. And they're just playing with us. They're literally just playing basketball, running on the track with us. And I said, hey, how'd you get this job? And he said, take kinesiology. So I was like, okay, sure. And then that's what drove me there to begin. And it was 4 to 5 years. And after that, I started working at the gym. So I picked up a job at Fit for Less. And so now working at this gym, I told myself, I don't want to ever have to pay for a gym membership. Number one, because I have all the knowledge from kinesiology. And number two, working at a gym is the best hack for turning that expense into a profit. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So if anything, from now on, I'll just be working at gyms. Yeah. And then I found myself going from that gym to the highest in terms of luxury fitness. I didn't imagine I'd ever get there. But yeah, a lot of learning throughout that journey. And yeah, here I am today.
Awesome. Yeah. And then Jesse, if you want to just touch on kind of your journey very quickly.
Well, I find it really interesting, so if we pick it up at 2008, I was so the phys ed teachers gave me access to, we had like a dungeon gym at our high school and no one could really use it. And he's like, he's like, I'll give you access under one condition. He's like, no one can know you're in there. Otherwise, other students will come and be like, I want to, use the gym room or whatever. So I would actually train in the dark. Like
that's old school, to be honest. Like,
if you guys have never trained in the dark, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome because, so that's what I was doing. I would just do these crazy workouts in the dark. And, that was that. And then another thing I did in high school, it was kind of neat, was, the high school next to mine was French. And so, but they had this like really nice gym set up, and they had this old guy there who was teaching like a workout curriculum. Like it was actually a class. It was like a workout class. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Mm-hmm. And they had like really cool equipment, like the neck machine thing. Like they had like all the pieces that like even like our gym didn't have. Right. So I started volunteering there, and I guess I started like helping with the other students, and the high school is kind of neat. They let me go there and help out and stuff. And so that was a lot of fun. And then from there, I got my first Octagon gym membership, and the age was 16, but we were 15, but they let us in. And so we started doing our workouts, and we would be there for like 4 hours at the gym for 4 hours. And then there was a Chinese restaurant next to the gym, called Lucky Star. And for $2.50, you just got this big pile of food. So we would like
the sweet and sour chicken.
Yeah, you could either get like 2 extra chicken balls, or you just actually get 2 full meals. But biking home was like a thing. It was really hard. And then we just were hitting the gym hard, like super hard. And from there, I'm not sure how far down the thing do we want to.
Well, it's the thing is, like, you didn't go to university for all this, right? So going from that to being a trainer, having your own gym, starting the NPTA Academy, like, were you ever questioned by people saying you don't have any accreditation from the university? And that will go to you as well. So did that actually help you through your career as well? So we'll start with you.
So it definitely did.
Yeah.
That local gym by my parents' house, I started off minimum wage, just front desk, reception / cleaner. And we had a lot of responsibilities. But I was eyeing the guy who was sitting on the chair behind the computer. He was a 6-foot guy. His name's Nico, from Russia. Great guy. My first ever boss, actually. Yeah, my first ever boss. 27 at the time.
Where was this?
In Scarborough.
Okay.
Yeah, in Scarborough, in the heart of Scarborough.
Born and raised.
Yeah. And I heard from the regional manager who hires managers at the gyms that, I mean, it'll look good if you have a kinesiology degree of some sort or any kind of education to get you into the manager role. So that's what helped me. It did take me a while, maybe almost 2 years, just under 2 years before I landed my first general manager position at that gym.
Nice.
Right?
Do you need accreditation? Do you need a degree in order to be a manager?
They say you do, but I mean,
they like to.
Yeah. If I came in there with 10 years of experience,
right,
and it looked like I knew what I was doing,
right,
and with the resume of leadership and management, I'm sure they'd make exceptions. But
like,
it's
would
just,
you? Yeah, like, would you hire someone? Like, what would you weigh it? I guess.
Like if they show up, if they show up and they've got like their lunch thing packed, and they're like, I'll pick up a broom, or like, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, and chances are there's always something going, like, there's always something we like, oh, so-and-so didn't show up, or they're running late. Can you help with this? Like,
that's so true.
There's, and if somebody's just there and ready to go, it's like, boom,
For the manager spot, though, do you think? No, that's cool. But the manager spot, is that a big difference maker, or does experience trump your academic background?
I'm gonna say there's absolute pros to formal training, like bringing Julian on with that has been an absolute game changer, because like these companies have, put a lot of time and a lot of years into this, and you got an education effectively, right? You got like 3 years, over 6 years of education in this profession. I don't think you can just wing that necessarily.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So if you were to, I guess, give yourself or a 20-year-old advice on which path to take, what would you guys choose?
That's interesting.
What would you choose? I guess you only know your own path, but if you were to do it again and kind of give that advice.
I mean, the question is, where are we trying to get here? Are we trying to own our own gym? Are we trying to manage it? Are we trying to be the top trainer?
Let's be manager, your route, and owner, your route.
Okay.
So let's go with you.
Yeah. I would say, generally speaking, you gotta have an attitude that's willing to learn. University, I mean, the biggest benefit that I got from university was teaching me how to learn, how to do my own research, how to check on these sources and see if what someone's saying about a specific myth in the fitness industry is true or not, right? So it doesn't hurt, but I probably wouldn't have invested this much money into that kind of education. And I think nowadays there are different ways to learn how to learn.
Right.
And there are mentors. So that's really significant. If you have somebody in your life that you can look up to and just ask questions, and you have that willingness to learn, you might not need that degree.
Yeah.
You know? So that's my take on it.
Attitude trumps, is what you'd say.
Yeah. And having a mentor is a cheat code.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it's the full funnel.
Mhm.
The start, this is how you do it, and then here's the job, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And learning how to learn is so important. And today nobody teaches you how to learn, right? So it's invaluable. Mine was the way I would do it is like how I did it was toilets and towels. So bottom of the ladder, and then just working your way up from there. And there's if ownership is the route, there's benefits to starting at the bottom of the ladder, because guess what? When you have your own studio or whatever, you're going to have to know how to do all of that stuff, like the cleaning and the this and the that.
Yeah.
So, that grunt work that nobody really wants to do, or some people even see it below them, right? They're like, well, I'm a certified whatever. Like that's not, but there's so much learning that you can do even from cleaning equipment. Like I was teaching one of our guys the other day, how we do one thing is how we do everything. So if you're cleaning a piece of equipment, how thorough a job are you doing? Because chances are, you're going to miss things, right? And it's so starting from the bottom of the ladder, working your way up, mentorship, 100%. I was fortunate enough to learn from under an owner. And he took me under his wing and showed me the ropes. So he's taught me both the front end and the back end. And that's a unique thing as well. So when you understand the front end, like client facing, the training session, and then the back end, everything that goes into making that thing possible, it gives you a better understanding of the service itself. And right, like it's kind of like you have a more well-rounded understanding of it. So it definitely gave me an advantage from a not only a training standpoint, but also
yeah. Like you guys both agree that a mentor is kind of a cheat code, right? Yeah. So I have a question though. So I've been a member at the low budget clubs and then tried out some of the higher ones. And there is like a big difference, right? There's from the atmosphere to the attitude to the everything, location, and you've done it all. You've managed through all of them, right? So what's the contrast? Like what's the difference?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question. It's like, imagine $6 bi-weekly versus $300 a month, right? That's a huge gap, right? And so for the quality there, what I've noticed, I appreciate two things. For the gyms that allow access, easy access for those financially who are like trying to budget their resources and they want to have access to fitness. And then the gym that I worked at, there were 3 in the area. So I actually worked at all 3 within that vicinity in Scarborough and ended up managing 2 of them. And to have accessibility like that, where it didn't hurt my wallet, and they had enough equipment for me to get the job done. You know what I mean? No matter what kind of goals I had. Now, the other end, this luxury $300 a month.
How high does it go usually? Like what's the highest subscription?
It could go up to like $600 depending on your package, right? And that's just, again, access. Yeah, because it'll be like if you want access to the US and the UK, then you're going up to the 600
entry fees as well, or just membership fees up front. That could be huge too.
Exactly, right? So, but what I appreciated most about those, they did their best to provide all the services under one roof. So it's like, how many different things can we fit within these 4 walls, so that one of our members who's paying big bucks will get the most out of it. So you got your Pilates, you got your yoga, you got your group fitness classes, spa, massage, you got your personal trainers, you have a shop where you could buy clothing. There's so many different services, right? So to have that all under one roof saves me traffic time, commuting from one place to the other. I could just spend 3 hours there and get a ton of things done. So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And those are the differences, right? One is like overall accessibility, and then the other one is access to services.
So you worked in both of them. So what was the difference in attitude from the low to the high? Because I'd imagine at the big box places, you probably had a lot of pressure to sell. Like it was probably burning out a lot. Like it was like hardcore.
Definitely.
And was it like that at the lower end as well?
No, because in that lower end, we didn't get any commission off any sales. We were just like, hey, here's the kiosk.
Yeah.
Sign up for your membership, whichever type you want. If you want clarification on it, I can give you that clarification. I can give you a tour of the gym, but I don't get anything. There's no convincing required, anything like that. And because of the location and the price, it kind of sold itself. So we had 7,000 members at that one location.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, on the other hand,
It's a lot of names.
exactly, and a lot of faces to remember and things like that.
Yeah.
On the other side, it was, hey, we, and I really appreciate about this specific luxury club because they survived COVID. They have this very extensive sales training that they get the management to go through, and we do have like specific membership advisors, our salespeople, and they're working really hard, like long hours, long days, and they had to go and incentivize certain things for them. So it's like, we'll give you Nike shoes if you hit your target. We'll get you a nice jacket if you reach this target, right? And then as a team, the whole team gets to benefit. So there's so many incentives, but it was a lot of work. It was
constant, right?
Yeah.
So did you see any gaps in general between that? When you see, okay, is there a problem here, or did that help inspire you to build what you've built?
Looking at some of the gaps, you know, I think yes and no. I find it interesting listening to Julian because I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I wish I had that. You know what I mean? Like my formal training was like, you know, here's a blank sheet of paper. Here's a pencil. It's $50 a session. Go sell them. Like that was that's your onboarding. That's your that's your sales training. That's your, you know, everything else.
Wow.
And
life of an entrepreneur, you got to start like that.
And that was it. And the crazy part is you went in the room and you figured it out. And in some ways that's a trainer. In some ways that is a trainer where, you know, we just make magic happen. But formal training, I think, would be awesome. Like, I really hope people appreciate all of those things. Like, you know, we put a ton into our systems. We put a ton into our onboarding. We put so much into it that, you know, I hope people appreciate that. Right. There is something to be said, like we were talking about systems and people, and, you know, both need to balance out. Like, you can't, even the best system in the world, you know, requires people, and vice versa. So, I think as long as we're hitting those, then, you know, we're in a good spot. Ideally, people come on, whether they go the big box route or they go boutique, you know, hopefully they're in a place where they're inspired. Hopefully they're in a place where they're learning. Hopefully they're in a place where, you know, they really admire the peers, the trainers, the managers, that everyone's looking up. And staying focused.
Right. There's probably a lot of different leaders throughout your journey, right? Seeing the contrast, what's the difference, and what kind of stuck out to you
in terms of leadership styles?
Yeah.
So that first gentleman that I mentioned, 6 foot, just like you, he actually had international experience. So he started his own gyms in China. He started his, he was managing a whole different environments, different kind of cultures and all that. So what he passed on to me were the day-to-day like mentorships, right? And I appreciated his style. And it was just like, okay, this is what needs to get done and this is how you do it kind of thing. And then when I transitioned to the luxury fitness club, it was more of this is what responsibility looks like. And you have the authority here. I'm giving you free reins, but just know that like there are consequences for this is the outcome that would come about from your decision. So really be careful with each decision you make, but you need to own up to it, right? So I'm empowering you to make these decisions, but you need to know what the outcome is going to be like. And you know what? If you fail, you learn from it. Just tell me what your solution is, right? So in a general sense, I liked that because I was able to, for the first time, be my own leader in that setting, right? And so I appreciated both styles. Like one was like, do this is how you do it. And then the other one was like, okay, you have free reins, but just know there are outcomes that you might not like, but that's how you learn how to make better decisions.
What do you think fitness has personally done for you outside of career and all that, like your personal growth?
Wow. Like my experience as a manager throughout these, or?
Yeah, as a person, like how is it reflected into your personal life?
I would say that it's given me a deeper appreciation for the value of overall health and wellness. Like from the education part of it,
right?
In university, you learn about the different aspects. It's not just physical, it's emotional, it's psychological, spiritual, all of those, right? And the more I got into the deep end of the fitness industry, I just learned how much I am privileged to be able-bodied and to do what I do on a daily basis, and to have witnessed transformation in everyone, right? People in lower economic status communities and different demographics. I'd say I just have a deeper appreciation of the impact of fitness in general to overall health and wellness.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, it is a privilege. Absolutely. It's not a chore, or at least it shouldn't be, right? Like it is a privilege for sure. For me, everything that is good in my life comes from the gym, and everything that is like bad comes from outside of the gym in a way. Or that place. I don't know, maybe we don't have to call it a gym because not everyone goes to a gym, but it is a place where we're going to better ourselves, and it's a good thing. We're doing a good thing. It's a good thing for us. And everyone should do it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Even my journey for the gym is so interesting. I come from a hockey background, needing to find something. So what it taught me was discipline. It's like, okay, great. Okay, discipline, meaning if I do this routine, it keeps me on track in life. And then it turned into like therapy. It was, I can go there, be in my own head, just kind of analyze things. And then, because a lot of people, when you start working out or just in general, that feeling is, I have to go, I should be going. But then you realize after a long time, it's kind of a lifestyle and it's supposed to be part of your life. So it makes that transition and that journey, I feel, is very important for everyone to go through.
You nailed it. You nailed it when you said lifestyle.
Yeah. Because at the beginning, it's work, it's effort, it's discipline. But then once you get into it, you're like, wow, this is what I should be doing all the time. It
was discipline that nailed it for me, because it's like all the those are the things that you want to learn in school, like discipline, willpower, consistency, all these types of things. Like that's like what people need to learn.
Yeah.
You know,
Nowadays,
it's not like a course or something, but it should be, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you think about it, it's you go to the gym to get your muscles hard and strengthen it, but you're strengthening your mind and everything else in your life. So, but quick, rapid fire. So degree or certification, like which one would you rather have to put on your wall and why?
Well, I think like having a doctor certificate, thing would be pretty cool. Dr. Jesse would be pretty awesome. But in terms of degree or certification, I would go certification.
Yeah.
After what I've learned about what's bundled into certifications nowadays, I'd go certification as well.
Yeah, like there's benefits to both. So when I think about a degree, like you said, like a doctorate degree, right? Like that is, I think, time and money. I think, wow, that's all super expensive. Will I even pass? Because who knows, right? And then that's so many years of your life that go by, and then you grow as a human, and midway through, you're kind of like, I don't even want to do this. Why am I doing this? And I hear a lot of my friends say that midway through their long degrees, and they're like, I don't even want to do this. And
plus, it's good to get started because everything's going to take time, right? So if you got to take 4 years or whatever it is, that's a lot of time. Longer. Like if you just got started and again, like we're the ladder, right? Anywhere on the ladder, at least you're climbing, right? And so that's a tough one.
Yeah, I find like certifications you can dip your toe in and get familiar, get thrown in the deep end. And if you want to continue it, awesome. If you don't, at least you gave it a shot, check the box, move on, but you didn't do 8 years of your life to do something that you don't want to do.
Sounds like a prison sentence or something.
Yeah. Like
but you know what I've never heard someone say is I regret that certification. But I have heard some people say, I regret going to school for that.
Yeah. You're basically saying, I wish I didn't devote that chunk of my life to that. Because once you're in, you're like, I have to finish it now. You feel kind of committed. One fitness myth that you want to debunk or you wanted to get rid of it?
Oh man, there's so many of them, right? Where do we want to dive in on the fitness myths? Maybe we want to. Who do we want to talk to? Clients, trainers, all the above. One of the things trainers are going to often hear is like, I don't want to bulk up, right? The females are going to be saying that to the trainer, and then the poor guy's got to like explain to them how they're not going to bulk up, and they're not listening to him because his arms are like 24 inches, right? So there's always those ones. One that I would like to talk about, and I'm not sure it's a myth, but it's just this whole thing of calories in, calories out, I think really can work against people in the gym where, they're calorie restricting. So they're going to the gym. They're like, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym. Maybe I'm going to get a trainer, and to get extra results, I'm just going to eat less. And it actually works against them because they're going to lose.
I didn't know that.
They're going to lose muscle mass. So they're going to lose weight. So now they're getting on the scale just to make matters worse. And they think they're going forwards, but they're going backwards. So one of the myths I would like to debunk here today would be, don't calorie restrict and go to the gym thinking that you're losing weight when in fact you're losing muscle and slowing your metabolism down. Yeah.
It's a good one. How about you?
Yeah, for me, it's a frequency where there are like animes out there. Like there's this guy named One Punch Man who does 100 reps of everything, and he does it like every single day. And then people will say, you know what, you need to just put in the work and work harder, but the body needs rest. So for anyone who is going all out thinking, I'm going to get to this result by working this hard, it's a myth, because the way the body works, it actually, you can get there faster when you're resting. And just like what Jesse said about nutrition too, right? I
True.
like to see it as like a
It's true.
3-piece pie.
Yeah.
So you got your nutrition, your physical activity, and then your sleep or rest. And they're all equal, right?
Well, yeah, I agree. So if you were to sum it up, what's the debunk?
The debunk is like you have to physically work harder to get that result. It's not always the case.
Yeah, consistency.
And rest, because as awesome as the gym thing is, it's all breakdown at the end of the day. It's all wear and tear. And so that's what can happen is people are going to the gym 2, 3, 4 times a week or every day now that they've, started out. And if they're not getting adequate rest or sleep, they're not getting any recovery. It's not sustainable. So yeah, you got to prioritize like working out and not resting and not sleeping. There's no logic to that.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier about just the state of what the fitness industry looked like 10 years ago. Like, how the US, Canada, that kind of topic. I'm really interested to see like how is it doing right now compared to what it was and why, and from your angle, but also your angle, because your angle is a different path and different journey. So you've seen it evolve like through the years, right? But from a different path. So what do you think has changed in the last 10, even 15 years? Because I remember, I think about Ronnie Coleman, like he's my favorite bodybuilder. And honestly, I love him. But it's changed a lot, right?
Yeah.
And like, what has influenced that based on what you've seen?
Oh, well. I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I'll jump in.
We were just talking about it.
Right now, like I love those days too. Like I love the pumping iron, and like there's just something about it. You just know you're getting work done, like something's, but today what we're seeing is a lot of a softening, and for good reason.
Yeah.
And for good reason. And we're seeing all the big box clubs doing it. We're seeing it in everywhere, and we should be softening it more because we forget just how intimidating this whole thing is. We see dumbbells, we see weights, we're like, makes us happy, makes us excited. We're like, we're at home, that iron or whatever. It terrifies everyone else. And when you really stop and think about it, there's this room and it's full of steel and equipment. It's like
yelling and screaming.
That's like terrifying.
Yeah.
So as an industry as a whole, if we just do it ourselves and everyone a favor, is like, let's just soften this thing. And even the companies that have done a really good job of that, like Planet Fitness, and they're even doubling down on it and they're softening even more. So we got to look at, how do we soften the look and feel of the facilities? How do we soften everything, the messaging, the ads, like you name it. How do we make this more inviting to the 85% or whatever it is, 75% of people who don't go to gyms and don't exercise, right? What about those people? So we got to get our act together, so to speak, and start to like really, let's get another 5% in this year. That would be a huge win.
Yeah. And I guess like changing it from going in, like you want it to be, you want to get energy from the gym, right? You don't have to, you think maybe back in the day, you're going in and you're just killing yourself. But it's more about bringing energy, what we were talking about, right? Yeah. We want to bring energy back. You want to go to the gym to get energized. And so, yeah.
And like that, I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because even the words that we're using now to name these places, like it went from gym, which if you ask anybody, what do you think of when you say gym? It's dumbbells, it's barbells. And now it's studios, clubs, boutiques, right? So if I was really thinking about what my parents would think right now, and I see it when I show them a video of me lifting heavy, or even when I'm in a gym setting, and I might even be doing something as soft as like mobility and stuff like that. And my mom would just be like, Julian, remember, don't go too hard, don't lift too much, be safe. And I'm just like, no, if you knew what I was doing, this is actually injury prevention, right? But I get what Jesse's saying, like in our parents' generation, that's all they knew it was.
Right.
Our parents' generation just walked. Running wasn't even a thing. Like Nike invented it. I don't know what they did back then, but it wasn't any of this crazy stuff, right?
So, yeah. And it's really evolved, and you're seeing more Pilates, you're seeing more yoga integrated in, a lot of different types of movement.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess it circles back to how can we promote this as a lifestyle thing,
right?
Because it doesn't need to be you doing a specific thing. It's what in this array of movements matches with what you love to do and what's your passion. For you, it might be hockey, right? For someone else, it might be dancing. So what does fitness look like for them versus a hockey player, right?
Interesting. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, you and me, and Jesse, just like how you're switching things up in the gym, bringing back that energy, but specific to people's lifestyles and stuff like that. Yeah. So if you were to look back at your younger selves, like what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, that question, it, we can be really hard on ourselves. But I think, that the answer for me is patience, because, even at a young age, we can have a pretty good idea of what we want. And it's not, and oftentimes we're not far off or we're not wrong necessarily. It's just how much time it takes to get there. So me and Saeed were talking about this last night, actually, where it's like, this thing that we wanted to do took 15 years. And why is it that things just take so long, right? And it's almost like, the 20 years or whatever it is, the 10 years, it's almost like that's the PhD, like the little letters next to your name. It's almost like that's the validation, right? That people need to hear is like, oh, I'm so-and-so, I've been in the industry for 20 years. And then immediately that gives you that authority, that credibility. It just took 20 years. But now you have that little thing next to your name. And I'm not sure there's any way around that. There's nothing wrong with trying to speed it up to the best of your ability, but there's no way around time. And so there's paint drying, and then there's this, and it's just painfully slow.
Yeah.
Right? So it just takes patience. That would be my thing. It's like, just have patience.
Yeah.
You're not messing it up. You're not doing it wrong, And I think we're kind of misled with social media because, you'll see these kids, right? Or these young guys, and somehow it's just like, a year or two or whatever, and they're millionaires and I don't know how that works. Personally, I don't know how that works. I don't.
Get rich quick.
You know what I mean? Good for them. But, there's that's a lottery ticket, right? So I don't know how much we want to bank on that necessarily, but I think if you put in the time, eventually you'll get there. And another thing I'll just quickly add is, for men, especially if we want to talk about, or women for that matter, but, most of our wealth is made after the age of 50. I don't know if you guys knew that, but most of our wealth is made after the age of 50. So sometimes we kind of look at it like, oh, it should be this linear thing, right? Where it just goes like straight up because last year this and the next year. Well, actually it looks like a hockey stick. And the blade of a hockey stick, it just barely trails just above that little, axis or whatever. And then finally, after 50 years, it freaking hockey sticks, shoots straight up. And so then the question really should be, right? If that's the case, if most of our wealth is made in our 50s, then what should we be doing in our 20s, 30s, and 40s? If we're not going to double, quadruple, 10x our wealth in those years, then what should we be doing during those years? And we should be seeking out experience, right? We should be not like seeking failures, but we should be like failing and learning and working and grinding and all of that, because that is that's the process, right? And once you've accumulated enough of that after the age of 50, you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And now it starts to work. And I think a lot of people, maybe they give up, or they don't just stick at it long enough, or they don't, understanding the process maybe is even half the battle, right? Again, just being patient with ourselves and not really dwelling on the negative stuff so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's gold.
That's
You're like same.
Yeah. No, it is. My answer would be similar.
Yeah.
And it's really telling my younger self, while you go through this process, don't forget what it's all about in the end of the day. Right. And now that I have a 1.5-year-old daughter, I'm reminded of what all of this is about. This is about, like, yes, I could train for my next High Rocks competition. Yes, I can go for that next promotion to regional manager. But in the end of the day, I just want to be able to be there for my daughter. I want my daughter to know me for being present. And I want to be at that place where when she's grown, I could still beat her in volleyball and basketball and arm wrestling or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So all of that, like, don't forget what it's all about, Julian, because sometimes the numbers on a page, the resume, the LinkedIn profile, it really gets to your head and you forget what it's all about. Right. So yeah.
Nice.
Short.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming. Yeah. I know the gym is picking up usually around this time. So I really appreciate the time for you to come out here. And Jesse, pleasure as always.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.